Hey everybody! This is Death by D4, and welcome to my guide on how to play as the Beast Barbarian subclass in Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. There's a lot to go over, so be sure to subscribe and let's dive right on in. When you take this subclass at 3rd level, you get Form of the Beast, which allows you to manifest a natural weapon for yourself whenever you enter into your rage. This natural weapon also counts as a simple weapon for you, and it can take on a variety of different forms. With the Bite, your weapon deals 1d8 piercing damage, and once on each of your turns whenever your hit points are below half, you can regain a number of hit points equal to your proficiency bonus whenever you damage a creature using your Bite attack. With the Claws, your weapons deal 1d6 slashing damage, and once on each of your turns whenever you make an attack with your claws, you get to make one additional attack as a part of the same action. And finally, with your tail, your weapon deals 1d8 piercing damage and gains the Reach property. Also, whenever a creature that you can see within 10 feet of you hits you with an attack, you can use your reaction to add 1d8 to your AC, potentially causing the attack to miss. Okay, so, though this may not seem like a crazy feature overall, it actually kind of is, as the abilities provided to you by this feature are actually staggering. After all, not only do these natural weapons benefit from all of your other barbarian features as well, but the unique abilities that each can provide you is actually incredible. Like your Bite's ability to help you sustain yourself while in the midst of battle, your Claw's ability to increase your overall damage output with additional attacks, and your Tail's ability to help deflect damage altogether. That said, do keep in mind that you only gain these natural weapons while under the effects of your rage, and you can only have one of these weapons selected at any given time, meaning that you'll have to reset your rage in order to switch them out. Still, even in spite of that, this is an absolutely awesome feature for you to get, and one that I'd highly recommend making regular use out of during combat. At 6th level, you get Bestial Soul, which allows your Form of the Beast weapons to bypass resistances and immunities to non-magical attacks. Also, whenever you finish a short rest, you may choose to gain one of the following bonuses until you use this feature again. You gain a swimming speed equal to your walking speed and the ability to breathe underwater. You gain a climbing speed equal to your walking speed and can climb on any difficult surface, even inverted ones, without needing an ability check. Or you gain the ability to increase your jump's distance by making an athletics check, adding your check's total to your jump distance once per turn. Definitely a super solid feature overall, granting you the insane benefit of being able to bypass resistances and immunities with your Form of the Beast weapons, alongside a variety of additional movement options that you can then make use of. Of course, depending on your campaign, some of these movement options may be less useful than others, but thankfully you only need a short rest to ever switch them out, so that's pretty nice. All in all, a very solid feature for you to get, and one that you'll probably be glad that you have for later on. At 10th level, you get Infectious Fury, which allows you to inflict a creature with an additional detriment whenever you hit it with an attack made with one of your Form of the Beast weapons. The creature must then succeed on a Wisdom saving throw made against a DC determined by your Constitution modifier, or suffer one of two effects. The creature must then use its reaction to make a melee attack against another creature of your choice that you can see, or the creature takes 2d12 psychic damage. You can use this feature a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus, recharging after a long rest. Wow, talk about some serious damage potential. Now whenever you need to burn down an enemy during combat, you can just tag on some extra psychic damage and make your attacks even stronger. Not only that, but the fact that you could use this feature multiple times per turn is just incredible for you, allowing you to really lay on the damage if you absolutely need to. That said, your ability to force a creature to waste its reaction and attack another creature can be completely useless for you, as it does require you to have two enemies that are standing right next to each other. Not to mention the fact that not every creature actually has a powerful melee attack that it can make use of. However, in the right situation, this could amount to you dealing way more damage to your enemies otherwise, so it's definitely not completely useless, just very niche overall. So yeah, a very situational, though very awesome feature for you to get, and one that you'll probably be glad that you have for later on. Finally, at 14th level, you get Call of the Hunt, which allows you to buff a number of allies within 30 feet of you equal to your Constitution modifier whenever you enter into your rage. For each creature that you affect, you gain 5 temporary hit points, and until your rage ends, each of the affected creatures can then add 1d6 to any damage roll that they make with an attack once per turn. You can use this feature a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus, recharging after a long rest. Okay, so this is just a really weird capstone feature for you to receive. Basically, it just grants you a temporary shield and your allies a very minor damage buff. Honestly, though the potential of this feature is actually pretty amazing, if you don't have many allies around you, then your mileage is going to vary wildly using this. At the very least, this is a barbarian feature that can actually directly buff your allies, and you can even refresh your temporary hit points by using this feature multiple times. Though since it consumes both your uses of this feature and your rages in order to do that, I wouldn't exactly recommend doing that unless you really need to. All in all, an alright feature with a lot of potential, though still a very weird and situational one for you to receive for this particular subclass. Alright, that does it for all the subclass features. Now onto just a few of my own personal recommendations concerning it. First off, the vast majority of this subclass's features revolve around the use of your Form of the Beast weapons. So if you don't plan on making good use of them, then I just recommend playing as another Barbarian subclass. Now, when considering a race for yourself, if you plan on making regular use of your Form of the Beast's tail, then consider playing as a Bugbear, as your long limb feature can then increase the reach of your tail up to 15 feet. Now, keep in mind, this won't benefit the range of your AC boosting ability, but if you pair this with the Sentinel feat, then you'll have a pretty reasonable range in order to keep your enemies at bay with. Speaking of feats, let's go over those now. If maximizing the potential of your Form of the Beast's bite or tail attacks interests you, then consider taking Piercer, as not only will it help improve the consistency of your damage rolls with those natural weapons, but it also helps boost up the power of your critical hits to new heights. That said, while we're talking about damage, if all-out damage is what you're looking for, then consider taking Dual Wielder and Fighting Initiate for the two-weapon fighting style. Then pair this up with your Form of the Beast claws, and you're ready to roll, as all of this put together will allow you to attack up to 4 times per turn, and achieve a damage output that can surpass even a Barbarian with a Great Axe and Great Weapon Master. Yes, I'm being dead serious. Sure, it'll take you a little bit longer for this build to come online, not to mention the fact that you have to land 4 attacks instead of 2 to achieve your maximum damage output. But remember that you do have Reckless Attack to help grant advantage on all of your attack rolls, and you don't need to take the -5 modifier imparted by Great Weapon Master in order to do this. So you really do have a lot of benefits going for you as well. Oh, and for an alternative way of doing this, multi-class in 2 levels of fighter, pick up your fighting style that way, and then grab yourself Action Surge, as doing so will then grant you a monstrously powerful character. Yes, it does prevent you from getting your Primal Champion feature, but if hitting 20th level isn't actually a concern for you, then who actually cares? And finally, just remember that your natural weapons ignore all damage resistances and immunities, so by playing into them, you'll always have an effective means of dealing damage during combat. You know, unless your enemy happens to be flying, in which case then, I don't know, just play an Aarakocra, I guess. And that's it. If you liked the video, then be sure to subscribe and let me know what you think down in the comments below. And if you'd like to have the chance to play D&D with me, then feel free to join my Discord server, and consider supporting me over on Patreon. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see all of you in the next video.